Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Five Boys in a Business, a podcast where we talk about the business, the family, and the many shenanigans involved. Today, well, I guess I should say I'm Emily King.
I'm Richie King.
And behind the sixes. Is that totally incorrect? I just had that pop into my brain.
Behind the sixes?
Behind the ones and twos.
Okay. I don't know why I picked the number 6.
Behind the 6 and 7s back there.
I think that's what I'm calling it from now on, the 6 and 7s.
There you go.
Even though he wants me to say 1s and 2s.
There you go.
Okay. Behind the 6 and 7s, we got Harrison Branch. And we are coming to you from
The bunker. Incoming snowpocalypse.
the snowpocalypse that is happening.
Right.
Hence why we were dressed the way we were dressed today.
Temporarily because I'm
Temporarily
burning
because
up.
we're burning up inside the building. So, yes, we have had snow. I don't know. It's named something.
Uri.
Okay, sure. Uri. Snow Uri storm.
The Weather Channel they live for these opportunities to
They
have
do.
6 anchors in different parts of the country. And
All over the place.
one dude standing on an overpass, in the Texas, was it Dallas?
Yeah, you'd
And he
think,
kept
yeah.
saying,
Yeah, the meteors are coming. It seems
Yeah.
like everyone was at Kroger. Don't go to Kroger.
Well, that was Saturday.
That was Saturday,
I was
Sunday.
like, what happened? Is this Valentine's Day or what's? It was hysterical at Kroger. These poor dudes were in there last minute getting bouquets of flowers, trying to get out of
For
there
Valentine's
quick.
Day.
Yeah.
So don't forget to check us out on any of the podcast channels.
Yes.
iTunes,
Google
Spotify,
Podcasts.
Google Podcasts, anywhere, any place you can find podcasts. Check us out.
Yes.
And we come to you most Mondays. And
Around midday.
Around midday. And I should say, now that the weather's frigid, you should try on ASVC merch.
There you go. Snowpocalypse gear.
Snowpocalypse gear coming
Will
to you
keep you
from
warm, head to
ASVCmerch.com.
toe.
All right, so, okay. Let's get
Wardrobe change.
wardrobe change. That's right. Okay. All right. I have one thing to talk about at the beginning of the podcast.
What?
Not because, I should say, I like to toot my own horn. Harrison, can you pull up for me Rocky music, please? Or I can sing it, but I think that might be a little harsh for everyone's ears.
Eye of the Tiger? Or
No, da-na-na, da-na-na, that song.
that song, got it.
Yes, because,
The movie that made Stallone a star and a small fortune, since he wrote, directed, and starred in it.
yeah, that's one of those, that reminds me of that movie,
It's playing.
It's playing. Okay. So I just like to tell everybody, da-na-na, I'm just imagining it playing right now.
Run up the steps in Philly.
Running up the steps of Philly. Exactly. So I predicted correctly. The kids are going back to in-person school on the 3rd trimester.
There you go.
There you go. Taking a lap with a win.
Or what may have happened is they got so much pressure from the parents to send their kids back to school.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So they're
Like,
back
yeah, we've had this. And now I think it's hysterical.
in-person learning.
And I'm going to jump on my soapbox for a second, how they keep changing these guidelines. They're supposedly dictated by science. I'm like, wait a minute. Now it's 3 feet. When's it going to go to 1.5 feet, 18 inches? I mean, what's it going to go to eventually?
Well, so,
Let me intervene here. The Rocky music was not playing. I hit on something else. So would you like to repeat what you just said?
okay.
well, no, everybody heard what I said.
Well, just rewind.
Rewind. I can't. Do you want me to do my dance while the Rocky song's playing? Da-na-na, 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 da-na-na. Can't say that I listened to this all the time when I was a kid because I was always super excited when I heard this song.
Really?
Yeah, man, get you motivated.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Didn't
Wait
you
a
ever
minute.
listen to the song when you're getting ready for anything?
No. Getting ready for what?
Your cross country races?
No. No. We didn't do that.
We did. We listened to it when before basketball games, before practices, before running.
Yeah, I might have listened to that before I entered on a Saturday night expediter shift at Daryl's on the hill when I was slinging baked potatoes, slaw, and bread.
So, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's the recap. 3rd trimester, in person. Way to go, Garen. Good
Yeah,
job.
Hats off.
So,
I think it's hysterical. One thing, just as an aside, it's hysterical how all these things are. People were making these really dire predictions about what was going to happen, and just for whatever reason, in the first 60 days or so of the new year, all these things are falling by the wayside.
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Also, I thought this weekend, Daytona 500, and of course, it's in Florida, they're a little bit more ahead of everybody
There were people
else.
there, but then it got rained out.
Yes, but it was so refreshing to see people
Yeah.
in the stands enjoying themselves watching Daytona 500.
That was running last night at 11 o'clock.
Oh, is
And
that when they were running it?
I mean, they because
we turned it off once the weather started changing, and then
they were running it last night because it said section 1 or series 1. I didn't know and I didn't know, and then they all like came in after the end of the series. They must all go back out. I don't know. I've never watched Daytona, so I don't know.
I don't know what happens.
But it was only like 60 laps in or something.
Well, they had that
11
huge crash
o'clock.
in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then, which took out like 16 cars or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they went to red flag, and then the rain came.
Yeah.
And so I never even turned it back on. I totally forgot about it because then they started going to all those like story pieces that they do to fill the time in. And I was like, oh, and then we turned on the Weather Channel because then we all started talking about the weather today.
Well, I guess this is the anniversary of when Dale Earnhardt died.
Yes.
He died at the Daytona at 2001.
Right.
Daytona.
So they were.
Well, it's funny because he was probably
going through memories of him.
I've never been a big NASCAR guy, but I knew who Dale Earnhart was.
Oh yeah.
You knew who all those guys were, Bill Elliott and those guys. And it's funny how I don't know any. You know some people, and some guy made a remark on Facebook. He said I keep trying to get back into this, but he's probably my age. He said, but then you have some guy you never heard of win Daytona. It's like, what? I don't know.
I think that's happened a lot with Formula One though too. Not the Formula One like that we watch, like the Europe series, the
right.
F1 series, but like the Indianapolis 500. It used to be when we were growing up, you had the same people.
Unsers
you had Unser,
right.
Rick Mears, Andretti's. You had, you know what I mean. You had these like core people that you developed these fan bases.
Do you think their careers were longer though back then?
I don't know.
I mean, because Unser was, or who
but
was
you
it?
see that now in F1. Like, when we watch the F1 series on Netflix, you see all of that happening on.
No, but they're all super young.
Yeah, but they all have these followings.
No, they do, but I'm saying it's interesting because
I feel like Daytona had that too for the longest time.
Right.
I think they still do to some degree.
yeah, I'm probably saying someone out there, some NASCAR fans, like you don't know what you're talking about.
No, but I
please
mean, I think
proceed.
they do. I do think they do.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
saying
I
they're
do think
probably
there's
saying
an
that to my
influx
comment.
of new drivers. I'm sure.
Right.
But yeah, it's.
Well, what's fascinating watching that F1 show is that there was some guy and he's like, I'm retiring. I'm just too old. I'm like, what are you, 35? But it must just be so hard to compete at that level. Whereas maybe years ago it wasn't. I don't know. I mean, not F1, but like the IndyCar series.
Right.
Because you had AJ Foyt racing. I think I went to race where remember he got black flagged that one time. So he was he was an older guy.
Oh yeah, he was much older.
So you don't see that now.
No,
Not really. So maybe because I'm older, I don't recognize that some of these guys are my age.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking I'm still 30 and not quite so much.
So yesterday, Valentine's Day.
Wonderful day.
It was a good day.
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoyed their Valentine's Day.
Lots of candy and what was the brand that I bought you? Russell Stover.
Yes,
Not
Russell
Whitman's.
Stover candy. Yes.
Yeah, it was good. It was funny to open it up and and then even Calvin this morning goes, Dad, do you think this is strawberry cream? I was like, I have no idea, bro. You take it out of the spot. I have no idea.
That's right. Once you take it out of the spot, you don't know.
So, and he took a bite of it and he goes, that's not any good. It's like, well, thanks.
That's what it is with most of those candies. You take a bite of them and then you pitch them. It's like,
Right.
Nope, not good. Nope, not good. Oh, this one's really good. And you get one good one. You're like, maybe the next one I'll have will be good.
know.
And then you just keep going, and then none of you're like.
Did they
burned
sell?
through
I
'em.
remember it was like the Whitmans. Remember it was like almost like a cigar box. You'd open
Oh,
it
yeah.
up, But did they ever sell? I don't know this, but did they ever sell like if you like the creams, or did you always have to get the assortment?
I don't know.
So
I
I was
don't know.
back before. Well, maybe not.
My grandparents, my mom's parents would always bring Whitman's
Yeah.
stuff. I think it's Whitman's.
No, it's Whitman's.
And, yeah.
The yellow box.
Yeah, he would. Yeah. Grandma and grandpa would always bring something. That was kind of like their thing of, oh, we're coming to your house. Here's some chocolate. Or grandpa would always have it at his house.
Yeah.
And then we'd eat some out of the box that he had at his house or whatever.
It's so interesting what people, generationally, what people value. I think I've told the story before, but once my grandmother, when I was in college, she would send us all. She sent me anyway a fruitcake one year, and I thought it was good. I ate the whole thing, and I called her. I was like, "Hey, this is really good." And then my sister called me like a year later. She goes, "Yeah, thanks for telling Mimi about the fruitcake. I can't eat that." I can tell that story because she's since passed, but she's like, "Yeah, I can't eat that freaking fruitcake." But I thought it was good. I wasn't used to eating like decent stuff though back then.
Right.
I probably wouldn't eat it now.
Yeah, I don't think. I feel like there was some story about a fruitcake manufacturer.
With us?
No, just recently in the news, either with COVID or something, that they were still going, or they're not. I can't remember.
What Sam's Club they used to sell
That brand, like, remember the brand of fruitcake that was just like the most popular? You'd see it anywhere. It would be in the grocery store. Or it would
Really?
Yeah, but I can't think of what it was.
It's not Pepperidge Farm, is it?
No, I don't remember. It was I don't know, it's a famous company that all they do is fruitcakes.
They
Is it Claxton?
That might be it.
maybe. I never heard of that. Never been a big fruitcake connoisseur except for the cheapo brand that my grandmother used to give us.
Yeah.
Came in a circle.
Oh yeah.
It was wrapped and
Yeah.
unwrap it and cut a slice. They used to sell the candied cherries. They were
Right.
green and red, and people would make them, I guess.
Put them in there.
Yeah, make those things for Christmas.
Maybe I'll have to make one of those this week and bring it in next week, and we can
A
have a
fruitcake?
taste testing.
Eesh. I don't know.
You should. That would be a fun episode.
We'll see if I can get that.
Although
done.
you are, I will tell you, I'll toot your home for a second. You are a really good cook. So
Oh,
if
you're very nice,
if you were
thank
to
you.
make one, I'm sure it'd be fantastic. I never knew what true pumpkin pie should taste like until Emily made me one. After that, all store-boughts they pale in comparison.
Well, that's very nice.
So they're even
you.
better now that we make our own crust.
That's right.
So they're fabulous.
I have to give a shout out to Wright's Gym, Wright's with a
Oh,
W,
yeah.
because Calvin has been going there for open gym. It's like a gymnastics /
Like a
ninja zone.
Yeah.
They had a kids party last night where you could go from 5 to 8 p.m. and bring your Nerf gun.
Yeah, it was like a Nerf war type thing.
Yeah, it was
They had
so, and they had
stuff.
pizza, so you could sign up, and they were gonna have pizza. They
For
were
like
gonna have
Valentine's Day, from 5 to 8.
Yeah, 5 to 8.
So
and
the
you were
parents
gonna
could
have
go
a Nerf gun war, and then you could just open gym, like play and
Right.
stuff. He loves it when he goes there.
Yeah, I went to pick him up because Emily dropped him off, and I went to pick him up, and I went in there at 8:00, and he was just standing next to the front door, next to the vending machine. I was like, oh, let's go. And I got home, and Emily's like, did you sign him out? I was like, I didn't think I had to.
I was like, the counselors are going to be like, does anybody see Calvin? Anybody know where Calvin is?
Calvin's hitchhiking down 32.
Oh gosh.
So.
But they do a good job, and he has a good time there. And
It's
so,
really cool the way they've developed all that industrial area back there.
Right.
You know, I'm sure that you couldn't get like prime time or prime, square footage,
Right.
to put something like that in. So it's kind of neat that they're able to do that. That whole west side of 32.
31.
I mean, it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
What they've been able to do.
Yeah, and that facility itself isn't huge, but it's perfect for like these kinds of things. Like it's
Right.
too cold to be outside. You need some human interaction and you need some activity.
That's
and
one
it's
of
great for
several,
that.
right? Don't they have like 4?
They have like Geist,
Greenwood.
Noblesville,
one
Noblesville,
Avon?
Westfield, maybe Avon. I can't remember.
I thought
But
there were
anyway,
3 or 4.
yeah, he loves it. He has a great time when he goes, and he goes on Saturdays to open gym there, and he can do backflips and all kinds of
He's
stuff.
pretty agile.
And so they have the gymnastics coaches on the floor,
Right.
and so you can learn stuff. So like he has this guy that he goes to. He loves his name is Spencer, and Spencer helps him learn how to do backflips and double backflips. He goes, I got double bounced and he says he did a double backflip, but he's a really good liar, like Holden.
All right, straight face. Mr. Straight Face.
Well, I shouldn't say liar. I should say storyteller. Just like the time he told the teacher that you had gone to jail.
Oh, no, that was a great story. That was great. She goes, Mrs. Algram, I think, or somebody. I think it was Miss Algram. She goes, yeah, he tells stories. I just have a question. Have you ever been imprisoned and you have another child on the way? I was like, neither. What?
So he would for the longest time tell stories. And so
But they're never flattering stories. Like, now my dad won the lottery. He got a
Yeah.
Presidential Medal of Freedom. It's always something bad.
he was in prison. I have never.
He said my dad's in jail. I was like, no, never been to jail.
I think it was always at prayer circle.
Oh, I think you're right, which is even worse.
It's just even worse. So I think it was
Well,
at,
Jimmy comes home and talks to his dad. Did
Right.
you know that Calvin's dad's in jail?
yeah. So I think it's prayer circle, and he would say, "What are you praying for today?" And so you're listening to all the other kids, and so I'm sure he's listening. He's coming up with something, some hardship, so he can pray about something.
Wow, that's
So
funny.
anyway, yeah, it was my dad's in jail.
Storyteller, Sticky Fingers. That's another. It's like, Calvin borrowed this toy from Jimmy. Can you make sure it comes back? I was like, where is it?
Oh gosh.
And it was
Yeah.
funny because I'm like, you just lifted that, didn't you? You just wanted to take it. I get it, but you can't do that.
Oh goodness.
You can get away with that in the second grade. Not so much when you get older. So,
That was it's pretty funny.
yeah,
Goodness.
he's a character. He keeps us on our toes, that's for sure. He has to be something yesterday. He always has these funny things he's asking about. Yeah, I don't know. He has all kinds of crazy things about how many. Oh, Holden was in the kitchen today. He goes, "Dad, how much is a foot?" And I said, I happen to have a ruler right there in his homeschool style. It's like, it's this. This is a foot. He goes, "Well, how many of those?" I go, "One of these." not multiple. One. It's 1 foot. Remember in homeschool, 12 inches equals 1 foot. How much is 1 foot? 3 feet? No, that's a yard or meter.
Oh gosh.
He's a riot. Yeah, we didn't do great with the measurement stuff. So I said, that's a lot of freaking snow, man. It's a lot of
Oh, that's what he was doing it for. He wanted to know what a foot of snow was.
Yeah, he said, "How much is a foot of snow?" And I was like, "A lot."
He has this vision of the snow being up over the door.
Yeah,
And I was like, no, if that happens,
I hope
we're
to
in
God
a
that
lot
never
of trouble.
happens.
If
Yeah,
that
we're in
happens.
deep trouble. I'm gonna lose the hot tub. God knows what else I'm gonna lose. Probably the
Yeah.
pool. Can you imagine that though? The weight on
I think that's when they start worrying like your roofs. Like I can't remember how many inches it is, but like that's what everyone was always worried about is if you leave that on your roofs or something. Like
I bet all that weight.
yeah,
It's not designed for that.
right.
What do you do though? You can't get up there.
I don't know. I don't
Pull
know.
a-
I don't know what the
Pull a Griswold and come flying off the roof.
yeah. I'm not sure. Needless to say, Trevor's very busy today with the neighbors blowing yards.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. I told him to wait until he got back from his thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's gonna be. I told him to go ahead and do it around the car so that when we pull in there, it doesn't pack it down. Because we didn't do that last time, and it's a sheet of ice. And
Yeah, but I think Winston's also having him do his yard too. So
okay,
he's got lots of things to do outside today.
I brought that shovel, by the way. It's in the back. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's good. So yeah, I'm reminded of do not leave ice on the driveway because I almost bit it, but for my cat-like reflexes, I almost bit it getting that shovel.
Cat-like reflexes.
Oh, we were laughing because Calvin, we were talking about cats, and he said, we watch these cat fail videos. You know, like cats will
Right.
jump and trying. He's just laughing so hard. And he said something. I was like, gosh, cats are amazing, aren't they? I was like, they could jump and flip and all this stuff. And something happened. One was like jumping off something high, and I was like, that's not good. He goes, Dad, they can land on their feet or something. And I go, yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't. Oh, I remember it was. We were watching this ultralight video. This guy's got like a GoPro, and he and this lady are going up this ultralight. And the shot, and you see this stray cat start to climb out of the wing, and they have to turn around and land real fast. And I mean,
my
everything's
gosh.
fine,
Right.
but it was funny because he goes, Dad, the cat. And we were laughing. I was like, that cat's not gonna make it if it jumps out of that wing. He goes, it'll be fine, Dad. It lands on his feet. It's like, not if you're going 200 miles an hour. It doesn't matter.
Oh gosh.
And there was another cat fail video with this cat. And I couldn't tell if this is real. It's like one of those older videos. It's grainy, and there was someone had tied a string to this ceiling fan, and the cat was on the back of the couch just watching it, and it jumped up and tried to paw it. Well, its paw it grabbed it, and it was swinging the cat around.
Oh no.
so
Yeah.
it was funny. He just thought that was hysterical. He's just rolling on the ground laughing.
Yeah.
So anyway. What are you shaking your head for?
No, I'm just laughing. I'm just thinking, yeah, cats do funny things.
But he loves those videos. He wanted to watch parkour fails. I was like, I can't watch this. I don't like seeing people get hurt. And these people get hurt.
No, I know.
There's no way that you don't get hurt
Yeah.
after we turn off after a couple minutes.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of those either.
Some are funny. Like if you we watch like redneck fails or something, they're doing something stupid. Like they're taking something through a mud bog or what, something dumb.
Right.
It always makes me laugh because I watch Jeep fails. We watched that one night. I was like, what are you doing? Why do you don't have to go up that hill. That doesn't make
Right.
any sense to go up that. You just destroyed your car.
I don't know. Yeah.
Or these UTVs. I'm like, how much is that UTV? Because it's trashed. Hope you had fun.
One time.
So
Your one time.
yeah. So yeah, we're looking forward to whatever snow we might get and how bad the roads get, and hopefully they'll keep up with it.
I am going. I think we just need to go for sledding. Just go do it tonight, tomorrow. When
Huh?
it's all coming down. The snow.
Oh, it'll be over by tonight.
We can go sledding tomorrow morning. Is it over through the night?
It's over. I mean, they said tomorrow morning. It's like partly cloudy, sunny, so it's cold, but it's.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to get more, at least as of right now, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right. The second.
So they say. We'll see.
The second
That can change.
batch.
Thought we might make it out of February. Not so much.
Yeah, February. Good
It's like,
old
doggone it.
February.
Somebody posted on Facebook. This is a couple days. I didn't know this was going to happen. Any of this was coming. And somebody posted on Facebook. They linked to the story about the oncoming the storm, and they said it's time to move.
Yeah.
It's time to get out of here. I wonder how many Indiana residents or Midwestern residents are convinced to take off after February.
Well, I don't know if it was on this podcast or not when we were talking about places that people are moving. Did we talk about that on this podcast, Harrison?
We did.
Because Tennessee's number 1
Oh, they really?
outperformed Florida.
Really?
According to U-Haul,
Wow.
as far as people moving into their state. I think
What do Texas? I think Texas too.
it was Tennessee,
Texas and
Texas,
Florida?
then Florida, maybe. I can't remember. It was Tennessee, Texas, Florida, North Carolina. I think that might have been, or South Carolina, one of those. Anyway,
Probably South Carolina.
But for the first time, and I don't know, like Tennessee was the first one. So
There's no state income tax, so if you can move, why not?
yeah.
I mean, especially with all the people working remotely. That was Salesforce.
Well, that's what's happening, right? I mean, moving forward, I mean, can you work at home? Because now you've eliminated all of these factors. Snow days.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about that with school. Like, nobody has snow days anymore. You have e-learning.
Well, and that's what's interesting is that there's no state income tax there, and with people able to go and do whatever they want to do, if you're working remotely, who cares? As long as you're near an airport.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe you meet quarterly or whatever.
Salesforce. I was asking Ryan at work out the other day. I was like, "Do you work for Salesforce?" He didn't. He was another company. But I saw an article where they had announced that they don't see 9 to 5 ever come back at their company.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're like, we don't ever see it coming back. It's going to be. This has changed so many. I mean, this whole event has changed the way everyone views, remote work and all that stuff. So there's no need to go. And think about what that does to commercial real estate. I mean, that means you have a radical decentralization of the workforce at any company anywhere.
Right.
You don't need 5 floors. You don't need 10 floors. You don't need anything.
Right.
You need maybe a core group of people that work together, and what that does to corporate culture and things like that over time, who knows? But at least in the short term, I mean, it's a big shift.
Well, I think, as far as our industry, we've never seen as much people working remotely as we have now. Like, I mean, we have people that, like Terry that works on the weekend and gets back to people, but she can do it remotely from her house with the computer and with Vitus Vet and things like that. I mean, so I do think there are those types of things are going to stay persistent.
That's been around, though, for 20 years.
What's that? Go to my meeting.
Well, no.
Isn't it interesting that somebody like that, like Go to My Meeting, which was basically Zoom, did not didn't do as well as Zoom did marketing their application, because it should have been the same as gotomymeeting.com or whatever, where you could just meet up and have that's been out there for a while, but then Zoom comes in and Zoom's able to.
Yeah, but see, that happened with Uber.
Zoom did it free too.
That happened with Uber and Lyft too. There was something, it was called something like Cash Cab or something like that was well ahead of Uber and Lyft, and they were first to market and they didn't make it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if, well, Zoom, of course, I think not costing anything.
Well, it's ease. I mean, you go and you sign up for it and you email a link.
Right.
It can't be much easier than that. And they must have had it all down where you can do multiple people. And you've seen those Zoom meetings where you can't even see the people. There are so many people in it.
Oh, yeah.
There are just tons and tons of people that do it. So I think, I don't know. I think that this guy talked about it the other day, and he predicted that this decade will be more disruptive than probably anything's been in at least 100 years.
Right.
He said everything is, and he's like, whatever you can imagine occurring during this decade, it probably will, from asset ownership, car ownership, to all those things. He was talking about, I was talking to Holden and Evelyn last night about the whole Tesla, not Tesla, SpaceX, and how this one guy said Tesla is a car company, but their core business is battery technology, and they're building all these huge plants out there for battery backups. And he goes, that's where electricity generation's going to go, because eventually it's going to be too expensive not to have solar panels on your house, because you're going to have a battery backup that basically is how you run your house. Instead of just being on demand, it's going to be something that's constantly regenerated. He said that's really what Tesla's doing.
Wow.
And he said, just like, McDonald's, he said McDonald's isn't the hamburger business. They're in the real estate business. The hamburgers subsidize their real estate holdings, but they're the biggest real estate holder in the world.
Right.
Or one of the biggest in the world. He's like, so it was interesting to hear him talk about it and where things are going and what that does to, one guy was talking about electric cars and how, all these mandates coming out about no internal combustion engines past 2035. This one guy that I've been reading for years and years, themarketticker.org, he's like, you can't do that with current technology. There's not enough I mean, you can't do that. And with if everybody had an electric car, the grid would crash.
Right.
Because there's just too much draw. And he had some good points about what do you do in colder climates, because you can't charge these in some of those climates. Because you work in Minnesota, you go plug your car up, it takes that much more power to keep the battery pack warm so it can charge.
Yeah.
And his argument was that they don't have enough capacity to do it right now.
Right.
So, and I think it's I heard electric car market share is like 1.2%. I mean, so he goes, what do you do if you pull up and you're on a long trip? And his big argument was longer trips. He started off the article saying that distance vacations would be dead if everybody converted immediately to electric cars.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't drive to Florida, take you 3 days.
Right.
Because what if you pull up to a charging station, you got 5 people in front of you, so you're sitting there for 8 hours waiting to get charged. So, and my sister actually brought up she knows some, one of her friends, or maybe one of my brother-in-law's coworkers, bought her son a Tesla, and he got rid of it in 6 months. He's like, I can't go anywhere.
Because there's just nowhere to.
Well, I can't. He goes, I can't take a long trip. I can't go here, can't go there. So he got rid of it.
Yeah.
This is the charge times. Well, your cousin's got one.
Yeah.
And I remember they said they had to stop for like 2 hours or something on the way, from St. Louis to charge it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was something like that. I don't know if it was
2 hours something. You have to stop and charge it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, very interesting.
That's been an issue, though. I remember being an undergrad, probably 92 or 93, and having a professor say the issue with electric cars will always be battery technology until they get it to where it rivals internal combustion engine,
Right.
Until you can it takes you 10 minutes to fill your car up.
Right.
Until you do something similar to that, they'll never have the penetration that the internal combustion engine cars do.
Or we just teleport. There's that.
Teleport. There's always that.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. I could see self-driving cars, though.
Oh, yeah.
I could see people I could see, like, basically everything's Uber, like cars on demand.
Yeah.
Because your car sits there in the parking lot for how many hours? Like, you drive, it takes you try 12 to 15 minutes to get up here. So you're literally in your car for 30 minutes a day.
Right.
Out of 24, it sits for 23 and a half.
Yeah.
So.
It could be off doing something else right
Well,
now.
you have fewer cars.
Right.
Way fewer cars. So. It's interesting. I mean, to the extent that what that does to car ownership, I don't know. I don't see that necessarily changing anytime in the near future. What do you think?
No, I think people.
You're so good at predicting things. Let's hear it.
Oh, thanks. I think that people like cars. People will have cars that are, like that mean something to them. So, like the orange Camaro.
Right.
Okay, like so we would keep that. Like people will still do those things.
Right.
But like your 4-door sedan, they're like, why am I spending $30,000 on a
Right.
4-door sedan? Like, you know what I mean? Like I could buy some car that I really like and just Uber, and use it for a special, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't.
I still think it's a very American thing, like a love affair with your car.
That's what I mean.
You
like,
identify with your car.
Right. Oh, and I agree with that. I mean, that's why people name their cars, and that's why people.
Why do people name their cars? I don't know why they do that. Go ahead, though.
I just always laugh because John Biddle's named his car Tiffany. That always makes me laugh.
boy.
I'm just like, that's just such a funny. I can just see him just calling the car by her name. Good old Tiffany.
Come here, Tiff. Let's
Come
go
here,
for a drive.
Tiffany. Let's go for a drive.
Got a hot date with Tiff.
Oh gosh. It just made me laugh. That was the name, right? Am I thinking of that right?
I think it's Tiffany.
Okay. I
Why
could
that
totally
name,
be
I
wrong.
wonder.
I don't know. We'll have to ask him at some point.
So.
I'm sure he's told you in past, but you don't
Probably
remember.
banging on his desk right now. I don't call it Tiffany.
I don't call the car Tiffany. Anyway.
Why does the license plate say Tiffany? It doesn't. I'm kidding.
Oh gosh, I do think that was a thing though. Like back, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people have named their cars. You don't think so?
I didn't know anybody named.
Oh my gosh, I do. I think.
Did you really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think there are girls here. We'll have to take a poll, Harrison, and see who's named their cars. I think there are girls here at work that have named their cars.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll take a poll at some point.
If I'd named my cars, the first one would be old unreliable.
Oh gosh, broom handle. That would be
Broom
it.
handle.
Oh goodness.
Broom handle. No reverse. No
Nope.
reverse. Battery goes dead all the time. Have to park on a hill. It's a long title, but
Yeah, that's too long of a title.
yeah. What would you call? What would we have called my Toyota truck? Oh, bald tires.
No.
Why?
Stan. That's probably what I would have named it.
Stan. One of the first. I'll never forget. This is a true story. Emily, she goes to visit somebody. She was at my apartment. She kind of borrow your car. I don't know why you took my truck, but you took it. And she comes back and just was hot. And she comes in. She goes, "We are buying new tires." I'm like, "We are? Why?" She goes, "I almost died." I'm like, "Well, how fast were you going?" Curvy road. I get it. Tires bad. There's no weight in the back. So
I think I did a 360.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
I was going too fast, I'm sure. I was on my way to visit the Hintons.
Well, that thing though, I
And
remember that truck.
I think I did a 360. I think it was raining, and I think I did a 360. And I was like, oh, no, we're buying new tires.
Yeah, and we yeah, but see that truck though, I remember when I first had it, it was a mini truck basically.
Right.
And I remember I went to stop at a stop sign and I almost didn't stop. I mean,
Yeah.
because there's no weight in the back.
Right.
So it was wet. It was
Right.
the pavement was wet and it just slid. And I was like, whoa, geez, okay.
Yeah, I'll remember. That truck I have so many memories of that truck because
Do you really?
With the first date we went on and it fogged up, you couldn't get it to unfog. Do you remember that?
I remember one of our first dates we went. I'll never forget this. I had deposited my check on a Friday, and I went to get money out, and I didn't have enough money in there because it didn't clear until Monday night. And it was like Saturday, and I go, "Hey, could you pick this up?" And it was more like one of our first dates. She gave me this look like, "Great, he's one of those guys," and I was like, "No, really, geez, okay."
That was hilarious. But I just remember that truck would not unfog.
Really?
It was raining and it must have been hot or something.
No, what it was it didn't have AC.
Oh, that's what it was.
And
okay.
if you turn the heat on, you can do that, but you can't put the windows down because it's probably raining.
And I had to pay for our first date.
Yeah. No, it wasn't our first date, was
Second
it?
date, third date. I don't know, whatever it was.
It wasn't second or third date.
I've been carrying your ass ever since. I'm just
That's
kidding.
not true.
I'm just kidding. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's I remember that going to Snowshoe, that 8-hour drive in that little truck, and we couldn't hardly get up the mountain because there was no weight in the back. Joe and the guys were drinking beer and throwing their cans. This is like so horrible, throwing their cans out the window on the way through the mountains. This is so terrible. Where they threw like
They weren't driving. Those guys weren't driving. The guys that were passengers.
No, but they were in like a little like
They were
Ford
in
Taurus
some-
or
yeah,
something, like an Accord. And then
yeah.
we were behind them, and all of a sudden I see this. I see this empty cardboard case of beer. You know, and they just threw it out the window, and I hit. I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Who knows?
So it was stupid. It was a good trip though,
Yeah.
and it brought back the boys. Recently went skiing.
Yes, they went to Perfect North, right?
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were talking about it, and it reminded me a lot of.
Yeah, they went on Friday.
Skiing.
And had a great time. They both ended up sunburned as heck, or
Yeah.
windburned, whatever that
Windburned.
was.
Was it sunny though? I don't remember.
Yeah, they said it was sunny.
That's probably They probably did get burnt then.
And they both think they're amazing at skiing.
It's like, yeah, I'm really good. I was like,
They're
"You've
really
done it
good at
once."
skiing. They're like, I got the talent. And I was like, okay, you guys have been once. But they had a blast. They had a good time.
You're skiing in Indiana. I mean, southern Indiana.
There are some good hills at Perfect North. That's where we did the...
No, I know, but I mean, go to Colorado on a black diamond and tell me how good you
Harrison,
are.
you remember those hills when we were running them for the, whatchamacallit? What was that? The
Spartan race.
Spartan race. And that one hill up, I mean, it was steep.
That took forever. I was like,
Spartan
really?
race? Yeah, it took forever. It took, yeah.
I saw Harrison
tried
one
doing
time.
It was horrible. Harrison actually got done fast. How many hours did it take you? 2? An hour and a half? 45 minutes or something? Hour and 45 minutes? I don't know.
Some of those people, they were taking it way too serious.
But it was, oh man, it was hard.
Remember we
had
were
to
walking
swim
in?
under the mud. Oh,
We were walking in, and there was some pickup truck, and some dude was doing chest compressions.
Yeah, it was
Get out
no
of the way. I was
joke.
like, what kind of race is this?
yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't do well with the mud stuff.
yeah. It was just so hot that day that I think that
I mean, people were
that's what-
disgusting. You remember,
Yeah.
like, they had the hoses?
Yeah.
And you're just covered in mud.
you had to climb under that barbed wire. Do you remember that,
Ugh.
Harrison?
Was it Holden did it or Johnny did it?
They did that kids one.
Yeah.
Holden and Johnny did the kids kind of one and killed it.
Yeah.
And then we did the adult, Harrison and me, and then the girls at workout we did, and Missy.
Did Missy do it?
Yeah.
Did she? I didn't think she did it. I know Tatum was there.
And did Missy do it? I'm pretty sure Missy did it.
I don't remember her
us.
doing it.
And
Maybe she did.
it was hot. And, yeah.
Well, there's some other race too, like that. It's not called the Spartan race, but it's something like that. where
We
you gotta do
never
it
did
and-
complete the other parts of the. Like I think there's 3 or 4. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, there's like 3, and if you do, because I remember there was a lady that used to teach it, Iron Fit, and she had on the back of her car, it's like a triad or like
Right.
4 races, and you do like the race you guys did was the first one, and then you have to do that one before you can do the next one, and then
Right.
you can do all 4. But I think they get increasingly
I think,
difficult.
and longer. I think
Yeah.
the hardest part I thought was the handle, like all the hand, like grabbing things, like the
You
monkey
could do burpees
bars.
instead, though, couldn't you?
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, monkey bars.
I have no
and
desire to do
some
that.
other stuff. Yeah,
I
There was a part of the course where you had to climb up a rope and like you couldn't even grab the rope. It was so muddy.
it was so muddy. Yeah, yeah.
Whatever. That probably would have held some allure at some point, but not now.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm cool. I work out 4 times a week. I'm good. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Oh gosh. Okay, so we probably should wrap up
Okay.
this podcast for this week.
Okay.
Do you have any other stories you want to mention before we head out?
Oh boy. Not that I can think of.
Not that you can think of off the top of your head.
I'm sure I'll come up with some other stories of the Toyota truck, or there's one funny story that just popped into my head. When we were moving to South Bend, we stopped. We had the back of the truck full of our stuff because we sold off everything basically to buy new stuff when we got to South Bend. And I'd stopped by your dad's house in Carmel because it was kind of not halfway, but a stopping point, on the way
Right.
up there to South Bend. And your dad comes out, looks at the truck, goes, "You really need to tie this down." I was like, "Okay." He goes, and I come out there like a half an hour later because I was getting lunch. I think your mom made me lunch or something.
Yeah.
And your dad had because I could have rolled the truck and probably nothing would have come out of the bed of that thing.
That's a Steveism.
It was
That's
like
what we call Steveism.
it was like a freaking spider and jumped on it, just back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the Steveisms.
My first foray into Steveisms was when we were putting away the pool cover and I was helping do it. And they had, I don't know how many things of talcum powder. Get the talcum powder in there, and just this baby out. He goes, "It'll melt if you don't." And it was rolled up, and they put it in this barrel.
Yeah.
And it's a huge barrel. I mean,
I think he put it in the attic then after that.
Copious amounts of talcum. I was like, did the fire station show up when you get this thing out? Because
Yeah.
there's this cloud of powder that goes up.
Yeah, I forgot. We did have like bottles and bottles of talcum powder.
He would fold it, but before he folded it, you had to squirt all this powder in there and then fold it down.
Fold it down, yeah. So that was
great. Yeah, thank God for that, because I think that's partly where some of my overbuilding, because I learned, being around him for so long, you tend to not overdo is the wrong word, but you overbuild in a good way,
right.
Because it
So
definitely
you don't have
won't.
to do it a second time.
No, yeah, so many things projects he helped us with, they were done correctly, absolutely correctly.
Yep.
So
Pretty funny.
yeah, good stuff.
Okay. I wonder what our kids are going to say about us, what our isms are going to be.
I don't want to know.
Richie isms. Well, we were talking about one at the beginning of the podcast because we were saying, Harrison, I was talking to you. I was going to talk to you about the camera, and Harrison's like, Mom, stop. You give me advice all the time about how to talk to Dad, and now you're ruining it for me. And so anyway, I think we were laughing because that's a Richie-ism. How to talk to Richie.
See, what it is I'm
101.
convinced that middle-aged men are prone to heart attacks. And I think what it is it's not really because you're poor health, because you open up a bill or you start to balance your checkbook, and all of a sudden the surprise sets in. All your dreams go floating away. And you'd rather just end it all right there. So
Your
subconsciously,
dreams are my dreams. My dreams are your dreams. Isn't that the way it goes?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, everybody. We'll
my
wrap
dreams
it up.
are my dreams, and your dreams are my dreams. What?
Okay, everybody. We'll wrap it up there.
I matter and you don't. Thank you, though.
We will wrap it up there. We will see you next Monday, sometime around noon. And don't forget to check us out on any of the podcast channels. Check out the merch store, asvcmerch.com. I'm Emily King.
I'm Richie King.
And we have Harrison behind the ones and the twos. We'll see you next
Mr. 6 and
Monday.
7s.
All right, everybody. Have a great week.
We're out.